boys were in the playground comparing their fathers. The first boy said, "My dad scribbles a few words on a piece of paper. He calls it a poem. They pay him £50 for it." The second boy said, "That's nothing. My dad scribbles a few words on a piece of paper. He calls it a song. They pay him £100 for that." Then the third boy says, "My dad beats both of yours. He scribbles a few words on a piece of paper. He calls it a sermon, and it takes 8 people to collect all of the money." In a sense, we're all guilty, like those boys, of misinterpreting or failing to adequately understand events that happen around us. Ask 100 different witnesses to an event what has happened, and you'll probably get 100 different answers. And the Gospel accounts tell us of 3 different ways in which the first discoverers of the empty tomb actually coped with what they saw on that first Easter sunrise, how they interpreted what actually had just happened. Mary of Magdala arrives first, and she sees that they have taken the Lord out of the tomb. Her interpretation is to be distressed at her loss. Simon Peter then goes into the tomb, and he sees the evidence. There are some clothes strewn about the place, and another cloth folded up. He appears to be confused. His thinking is muddled. Then next, the other disciple, the one that we're told whom Jesus loved, goes into the tomb, and he sees and he believes. Now, it's important to remember, and the Gospel stresses this, it is still dark. None of them can see clearly in that tomb. They all see the same thing, but it is only love that is able to see in the dark. When the beloved disciple sees, he understands the teaching of Scripture that he must rise from the dead. Now, of course, if you really love someone, you do believe in them, even in the dark places and in the dark times. On Thursday, the day before the crucifixion, we were at supper with Jesus as he raised bread and wine and gave the commandment, "Do this in memory of me." On Friday itself, we stood by silently, and we witnessed the trial, and we couldn't believe our ears when his great friend Peter said, "I do not know the man." Then came the crucifixion and Jesus' death. But this morning, the third day, we're here at the empty tomb, and like Mary, Peter, and the beloved disciple, we must look into the tomb. What do you see? Now, don't answer too quickly. Remember, it's dark in there. Perhaps, like Mary of Magdala, you are too upset. You're emotional. You're blinded by your tears. You just can't see properly. Perhaps, like Peter, you remember your past mistakes and you just can't think properly. Or perhaps, like the beloved disciple, you have the eyes of love and you can see clearly and believe. The 3 different experiences are, in one way or another, the reality of our Christian journey, because sometimes bad things do happen. People die, loved ones and our relationship with them disintegrate. People disappoint us. Often they cannot see beyond themselves or we beyond our tears. There are times when we make mistakes and we are overwhelmed by a sense of unworthiness. We may think there is no way back from this situation. Our past memories haunt us and taunt us and tell us there can be no resurrection. But then there are times when great things happen. We fall in love. Relationships are wonderful. Life is good. And we have moments of great clarity and strong faith. They all make up our experience of life. Today, at the foot of the empty cross, at the entrance to the empty tomb, we are experiencing something wonderful. Jesus Christ is alive from the dead. With that faith, we Christians can confidently face whatever the future will throw at us. We can live the present moment in the certain knowledge that Jesus Christ is alive and walks by our side, And what God has done for Jesus, he promises to do for each one of us too. The reason why it's great to be a Christian is because we don't just cope with life, we live it. And we are able to celebrate something of eternity now.